Well, collectors, here we are again. It's July the 23rd, and it's hot as a firecracker in New Jersey, and the humidity is so heavy you can wear it. We've had 100-degree weather here for the last 4 or 5 days, and it's not given up. But I know that's like that in Europe in places, and also in other parts of the country. So we'll get through it as long as the AC keeps working. So I hope you guys are having a good summer. I guess some of you are getting ready to go on vacation, or you've been on vacation. I hope you have a good time, but don't spend all your money on the vacation. You want to save something so that maybe you could treat yourself to just a small edged weapon or something of that nature. But anyhow, last time I talked a little bit about my early life, and I thought this time I would open and talk to you about the 1970s and what that was like in collecting. I know a lot of you guys weren't around then. A lot of you guys are younger people, which we really appreciate coming into the hobby. But there's still a lot of old guys around that remember the 70s, myself included. And as I told you, in those days I was still working my regular job, and I was kind of in the hobby. I loved the German daggers, and I was getting things from newspaper ads, and there weren't really any shows for military then, but there were some gun shows that you could go to. I remember in particular the Allentown gun show, where they did have some German stuff, but in those days the gun guys that ran the shows and so forth, a lot of them were World War II veterans, and the last thing they wanted to see was some guy come walk in with a bunch of Nazi flags and medals or daggers or whatever. So you usually wound up being put next to the men's room or someplace pretty much out of sight. And of course in those days there were very, very few publications on what any of these things were, and we were all just kind of learning by making mistakes, really. You were pretty sure if you had come to a veteran's house and bought his things, you were pretty sure that you were getting original things. Although even in some cases at the end of the war, Soligan made up a lot of pieces out of leftover parts and whatever, and sold them to GIs that were coming home. So you really couldn't be totally assured that everything you were buying then was original, but it was a good start. As I say, there were no military shows per se. And then there was a man that probably is a familiar name to you guys. His name was Major Charles Snyder, retired. And Charlie, he had a lot of German stuff that he had acquired from veterans. And let me just light a cigar. And a drink to you. Here's to you guys. Here's to the summer. Yeah. As my tradition goes, I make the first one a little too strong. But Charlie had all of this German stuff, and he was based around, he lived in Bowie, Maryland, but that was not too far from Baltimore, where they had a well-established antique arms show, which still runs today, one of the best arms shows in the world. And Charlie thought, well, I'm going in there and I'm going to kill him with all this German stuff. And he got into the show and started setting up his things. And the next minute he had a visit by 4 or 5 directors of the Baltimore Arms Show and told him to get the hell out. They didn't want that stuff at their show. So Charlie was quite put out about it and decided, okay, if that's the way you guys are, I'm going to start my own show, and I'm going to run my show the same time as you guys do, and it'll be right close to you too. So Charlie went out and he managed to book what was called in those days the Greenbelt Armory, and it was an armory not too far from Washington. And it was a pretty good facility. There was room there for maybe 100 tables, and they had a little bar where they served beer. And then if you got on the wrong side of Charlie, they also had a rifle range where all of a sudden you'll find your table in the rifle range if you did something Charlie didn't like. But he started that show at Greenbelt, Maryland, and it went on to become one of the best shows. Well, if not, except for OVMS, they had a show in Cincinnati at the same time, a couple times a year. But Charlie's show there was really something. And the fact that it was so close to Washington, in those days there were still a lot of World War II veterans that were alive, and they'd come in with these shopping bags full of stuff, and everybody running over and what do you got and stuff, and it was just a really interesting time because you never knew what was going to show up. So I was there in those days. I would bring some things that were duplicates that I had bought from veteran sources, and I had a deal. A lot of you collectors probably know Ron Wolin. Ron was a dealer before I was involved, and whenever I'd get to the Greenbelt Armory, I'd go in and put my hand up to Ron, and he'd come racing out, and he'd go out to my car and buy stuff from me. What were the prices then? They were hardly anything. A Hitler Youth knife was $20 or $25. SAs were $25. An SS was $50. Although if you had a chained SS, that could be as much as $150. So it was all a crazy market then. And after about a year of doing that, I thought, well, gee, maybe I should get my own table at Greenbelt, which I did. And then I really got to know all the people involved in the business at that point. You want to take a break, Ob? No? Okay, so I had a table there, and in those days there was no such thing as a table cover. My God, you wouldn't want that. Everybody would come in with a big box or baskets and just boom, dump it on the table, and that was your display. And I looked at this, and it was a guy in the show that he not only had a bunch of field gear and greasy stuff all on top of this tabletop, but he had 3 cats with him, and each cat had a collar around him and a leash. And he had the 3 cats tied under the table. It's the only time I ever saw cats that would do that, but he got away with it. But that's some of the characters there were. And then there was a guy, Bayonet Pete, they called him. There was something wrong with Pete. I never could figure it out, but he never would say hello, and he would just grunt at you, and it was hard to get a price out of him. For his stuff, he must have had 100 bayonets just piled up, all greasy and a big mess. And Charlie used to advertise that he had 24-hour guards at the hall, and I always wondered. I had never seen any guards there, and then I finally found out that the 24-hour guards was Bayonet Pete. He used to sleep under his table at night because he couldn't afford a hotel room. So that was the security in those days. boy, there were guys in there. You may know the name Galen David. He was my big competitor then, and Galen and I would run around the show trying to find stuff, trying to beat each other out with it, and Galen was very excitable, and he was nothing but a mass of sweat the whole show. His clothes were soaked. I mean, there just was nothing so important than getting to that dagger before Whitman. But you may know a lot of the other guys that were just starting out then. You may have heard of them anyhow. I made a list of some of the people. Gerhard Wimbill, he was there in those days. Bill Shea, Walter Kanzler, Homer Brett, Chuck Scaglione, Nick Natur, Jack Wells, Ed Wynn, Bob Johnston, Jerry Bell, Joe Pankowski, Charlie Dubsky, Ron Wolin, and Dr. Bob Procaccini. And those are just to name a few of the guys, but these guys all started out under Charlie Snyder's show. And a lot of you guys that knew Charlie, you may have mixed feelings about him, but Charlie really and truly was the first person to ever have a military show. So we certainly owe him that, and here's to you, Charlie. So that was kind of how the shows went in the 1970s. There were other small shows here and there in every town. You'd go to a fire hall or whatever, and but as I say, nobody knew really anything about anything, and we learned from each other in those days. And also in those days, the Jim Atwood daggers had also come out, where Jim had gone to Zolligan and found thousands and thousands of parts still there in the factories, and he put together zillions of daggers, and where they didn't have the parts, he had them made, and he never sold them for anything other than what they were. But of course, the next buyer, this is what happens, and we still see them today. I think a couple of videos ago, I had a chained NSKK here that went back to Jim Atwood. So that's how it was in the 70s, and maybe during the next video I'll talk about the 80s. So now we're going to get to some unboxing. I don't want to waste too much time here. One guy wrote that I talk too much, and he doesn't want to listen to that. He wants to see the daggers. So for guys like that, I don't blame you. Just fast forward. But here we go. We're going to do some unboxing. Okay, here we go with our first box. It's just a little one, and I got a new Bob Burns cutter here, and we'll see how that all works. So we're off and running here. Well, today's a Saturday, so nobody to answer the phone, but hopefully they'll call back. Let's see, these look like there might be nothing, something in this one. Let's see what we got here. Alright, the first of the new unboxing. It's always an exciting time. I like it anyhow. It kind of gets me going here. Let's see what we got. This is taped up pretty well here, but we'll get to it eventually. I'm sorry to take your time up with this kind of stuff. Oh, here we go. Wow, this first piece is a very, very nice piece. An SS Velvisburg fork. You guys all know Velvisburg was the castle that Himmler renovated from the 1500s, and where he established his Knights of the Round Table. So there are two good-looking forks there that come from Velvisburg. Let's see, maybe you can catch the mark on the back of that ob. Got a cold? Okay, let's see what else we got here. That's one down. Let's see what this is here. This is pretty interesting. Wow, that looks like either an ashtray or a drink coaster, one of the two. They're both from the Imperial time, and yeah, that's Vettigan. Vettigan was the very famous World War I U-boat commander of U-9, and this, of course, is the imperial seal of the monarchy. So these are pretty nice things. They're kind of hand painted, and yeah, they got the name of the company that made them on the reverse. So they're kind of an interesting thing to set out with a display. I like them. Thank you, sir. Good stuff there. Thank you. Let's see what else we got here. This is a set of hangers that I did take a peek at before the video, and you guys are going to say, whoa, look at those. What are they? Are they real? What are they? Well, they're real, and we see these hangers a lot of times mated up with water police daggers, which they do not belong to. Regular naval hangers were worn with water police, but these are hangers that were made for a dagger that they maybe only made 3 or 4 or 5 of them. It was a dagger that was proposed for a railway water police division in the Army, an Army railway. They were to be guarding railway bridges to thwart sabotage and things like that. And there's pictures of the dagger being worn, and like I say, a few of them were made by Carl Eichhorn, and these were the hangers that were established for them, and they must have put in an order for 50 or so of these hangers, but they were never issued. So at the end of the war, the hangers were discovered, and we still see them floating around, and every set that you'll see has never been worn because they never were issued. So that's what they're for. Very, very rare hangers, but for a dagger, most of us will never find. I was lucky to find one about 5 or 6 years ago, and that's the only one I've ever seen. So that's some interesting straps there for guys that really like exotic straps. These are a must. And I hate to disappoint the guys that have them with their water police dagger because they're not correct for that. Alright, let's see what we got next here. Some small items here. Let's see, that looks like the best side to open this baby up that. It says Tom Whitman on it, so it must be for me. Some kind of book or something. Let's see. What could this be? Oh, another envelope. Oh yeah, some kind of a book. It's an old, Japanese swords. I guess somebody's trying to help me because they know I don't know much about Japanese swords, so perhaps that's what this is all about. I'll have to read the letter and see. Somebody wants to trade this book. All right, well, I'm sure I could do that because I need this book. I don't have this book, so maybe we can work something out with you, sir. That's a good thing. Thank you. Let's see what we got next. See what the best way to open this baby is. I guess we'll just try the conventional way. Yeah, it looks like a seam on the top there. And the Bob Burns cutter is working good. Good pack job here. Looks like, for whatever it is. Looks like we have something inside of this cardboard here. Get this down so we can see what this is. Alright, I lost my cutter there for a minute. Let's see. I think we got, this is the way to open this one from the end here. Looks like we got a letter. Always good to have a letter so we know what we're looking at. What could this stuff be? Oh goodness. Pretty big box for whatever these things are, but you know, you want to make sure that everything survives the post office if possible. Sometimes it's not possible, but making it hard on me here. Oh, boy, that's a lot of packing for a set of hangers. Oh my goodness! And these are all in saran wrap, so that saran wrap's just impossible. But it looks like a set of Luftwaffe hangers. I'll look at them later, and let's see what's in here. Yeah. What do you think it would be, guys? Of course, a Luftwaffe dagger. Oh, don't tell me it's in saran wrap too. Oh boy, this stuff is brutal to get off. Maybe we'll get lucky here. This maybe we'll get lucky, but I don't know. No. Yeah, if you do the saran wrap, it just is really difficult to get to the item. Let's see what we got here. Oh, well, this was worth the trouble. Wow, look at here, Rob, a beautiful, beautiful Luftwaffe dagger. Is it in the scabbard right? No. Of course it's in the scabbard backwards, the usual. But look, it's got the gilt on the pommel swazes. Beautiful white grip. Yeah, gilt on both pommels, and it's got a nickel-plated scabbard, and Wow, a full mint blade. Yeah, that blade is really nice. All the grain is in it. It's unmarked, but what a beautiful Luftwaffe. This looks like something that was made for a pilot. And the hangers, I'm sure, are just as nice as the dagger. So that's kind of a nice thing. I'm glad to have that. And we got a letter with it. He'll tell me how much he wants for it, I'm sure, in there. Okay, guys, here we go. We got a fairly good-sized box here. And let's see what this will be. So far, we got kind of a variety of things, different kinds of things, including a Japanese book. Wow. Okay, looks like we got a letter on the top. That's good. Lots of bubble paper and stuff here. Wow, plenty of padding here. Nothing's ever going to happen to this box. Here's the meat of the matter here. Yeah, it looks like we got four pieces to look at, guys. I'm anxious to see them. I hope you are too. Let's see what we got here now. I hope it's all things that you'll be interested in or to look at anyhow. Oh, good. He just used a little tape here. Not all that other stuff the way the other packages were bubble wrapped. And, well, here we go. I always say you can never have enough first model Luftwaffes. So there's a nice early piece, early fittings, early chain, beautiful leather. Boy, what do you think of that, Ob? It looks pretty good, doesn't it? The leather's nice. Yeah. There's a little wear to the nickeling around the pommel sun wheels, but not a bad dagger. And got a mint blade on it like they usually do. Nice nickel-plated blade. And let's see who made this. Oh, here we go. That's one you don't see very often. Very desirable. The Balloon Man, Gebruder Heller. So that's a nice piece. I like that a lot. Was in the scabbard right. That's a good sign. Let's see what else we got here from this gentleman. You know, good clean daggers like that. Everybody, you know, if you're building a dagger collection, you have to have a first model Luftwaffe, and it's nice if you can find an early one like that with everything going for it. And maybe you would like two of them. Well, here we go, guys. This one, it has a few hits to the leather. It's just slightly later than the one I just showed you, but it still has the gilding on the sun wheels and an aluminum chain. And the other side is in a little better condition on the leather, and the gilding is there too on the sun wheels, so that's nice. And another mint blade, very beautiful, nickel plated, perfect condition. Yeah, very nice. And this one is a SMF. SMF made a lot of Luftwaffe first models. as well as seconds, and they're a good producer. So that's something we can use too. Always got to check to see if there's any identification sometimes on the bottom of the crossguard or the throat of the scabbard. But there we go, 2 nice loops. That's good. Let's see what else is happening here. Ooh. Okay. Now we have a second model Luftwaffe, and this is really a nice one too. Another beautiful nickel scabbard. That's really nice. Most of them are the airplane gray color, you know, and I think they paid a little extra to have the nickel scabbard. And it has a really nice orange grip with the original portapee. Shows just a tad of fray at the knot, but that's okay. And there's just a glint of gilt still on the pommels, just a tiny bit still there. So this looks like a nice condition piece, and another nice blade. Just a tiny bit of age in there, but nothing real serious. And let's see who made this baby here. Oh, another SMF, and that one's got a Waffen amp above the trademark there. See it? Yep. So that's a very nice piece also. And let's see what the last one is here. So what we're seeing here, guys, is basic entry-level pieces, but they're all in very nice collectible condition. Ooh, another Luftwaffe, second model. Stay up there. Wow, look how dark that grip is. Man, oh man. With the portapee. And this one's got the standard airplane gray scabbard with the nice aluminum fittings, but that grip, man, that really sets it off. Let's see what the blade looks like. Oh, mint blade. Full mint. It looks like a nickel-plated blade too. Yeah, it would be, because it's a Wiersburg. Wiersburg always nickel-plated their blades. And then there's a Waffen amp on it too. This is a very high-quality dagger. So I like that too. That's 4 nice, really common daggers, but in very nice condition, very collectible. You know, if you're the kind of person that wants to start out with the best and not have to upgrade it, I think any one of these 4 daggers is a good piece. Okay, let's see, I got a real huge box here, but I'm not ready for that yet. I don't think. I gotta build up a little more stamina. See what this is, a smaller box. And time for a drink. Here's to you guys. Yeah, that works. Okay. Let's see what we got here. This one too. Wow, this is... Oh, I know what this is, yeah. This is a transport tunic that we sent to a guy a while back, and he doesn't want it anymore, so we have it back again. It's just an NCO, but still a pretty nice thing. Hey, take a look at that, guys. Yeah. It's got a couple of a Russian and an Iron Cross ribbon on it. Okay, so there we are with that. Let's see what The next box is big FedEx box. Let's see what we got here. Oh, more packing. Here, something here. That's just packing. Yeah, that feels like the end of the box. Well, this one's easy to get to anyhow. Let's see what we got here. Wow. Boy, look at the condition of that SA. Wow. It's a later model. It's got the nickel plated fittings and the painted scabbard, and looks like the original short hanger, and the grip with the aluminum eagle. But the condition is absolutely incredible. Really nice nice example here. Let's see if the blade is mint too. This is a very nice piece. Good grain in it and all, and here we got a little bonus here. This is a double-proofed piece. It's Wilhelm Wagner, it looks like, with the trademark and the RZM. See, this is what they did about 1938 before they were forced to just go to the RZM mark. A lot of producers also put their trademark on there too, so these double proof mark daggers are very desirable. There's about maybe 15 or 16 of different maker marks that are double proof that you can collect. So that's a real winner there. Let's see what's in the next. Well, we're getting Luftwaffe to death here, guys. Here's another nice one with the hangers and a white grip, good airplane gray scabbard, and looks in good condition on both sides. And let's see who. Oh, full mint blade, all the grain in there. See all that? Very nice piece. Tiger. See the tiger cat walking down the blade there on the mint blade. So that's another good entry level piece. So not so bad here, guys. Nothing really rare, but all good, absolutely collectible condition pieces. Let's see what's. I don't know whether I'm ready to tackle this big box yet. No, I got another one here I'll do first. Get a little sip. Alright, like Christmas every day around here, seems like, guys, with these boxes. I like it, I hope you like it too. It's really fun that so much different stuff gets sent in here all the time for poor old Whitman to figure out what to do with. Now we'll see here. Let's see what this is. Letter. We got a lot of cotton here. So, wow, I don't know what we're going to do with all this cotton. I never knew what to do with cotton anyhow. You know how women buy those cotton balls all the time? What the heck, what do they do with that? I know what to do with a Q-tip, but I never knew what to do with this stuff. But anyhow, here we go. What do those women do with those cotton balls? Anybody know? I don't. Oh, this feels like maybe a helmet or something. That's what you do with cotton. You protect your helmet. Let's see what this is. We got some bubble paper. And we got something we can use for another table cover, Rob, if we need to. Wow. Oh my. Well, no wonder he was wrapping it up so carefully. Wow, I think I've ever seen a better one than that. That's the RLB Luftwaffe helmet. The Gladiator type 2-piece, and the decal looks 100% to me. Boy, that is really a killer. Wow, and look at the inside. I mean, this helmet is like brand new. The chin strap is in beautiful condition too. Boy, that's some helmet. Wow, a lot of cotton. Ah, all right, couple daggers it looks like too here. We'll see. Get some of this stuff out of here, so we can make some room. There we go. Let's see what's in the dagger bags here. Maybe daggers, huh? You never know. We'll get lucky. Oh, here we go. Here's this looks like a very early Army with that slant grip. And these fittings look very early too. Everybody likes those slant grips. Let's see, yeah, it's in great shape. Let's see who made this. Oh, decent blade in it, nice blade. Oh, it's a WKC. Now this is a WKC that was produced prior to the time that they used just one screw. This is a real early initial production WKC, and I'm sure that crossguard will conform to the pictures I show in my Army book of what these early ones look like. So that's a good dagger for somebody collecting Army types. Let's see what's in this next box. Oh, this is a later SA. Got a little bubbling to the plating here. The grip looks all right, and the paint's okay. Let's see what it is. The blade is nice and minty on it. Oh, it's another double proofer. This one is a louder young. So those are kind of rare too. See where they just have their name there and the RZM mark. Okay guys, we're moving along. How to make another drink, light another cigar. We've got just a few more things. Hopefully you're still with us. We're doing the best we can. I don't have anything earth-shaking so far, but you know, we can only deal with what comes in. But I hope you're happy with the stuff that you see so far. Yeah. Yeah, that'll get me through these last few things here. Now let's see what we got here. haven't guessed so far, it looks like it's going to be a sword, huh guys? Let's see what we got here. Hopefully this tape won't be too difficult to get through here, but we'll have to use the old Bob Burns cutter. See what we can do here. Make some leeway. Yeah. We're getting there slowly but surely. It looks like some kind of a police or SS sword. And a nice one too. Wow. Got the knot on it. And pretty good scabbard paint. And yeah, nice looking hilt up. I see a little more than we thought. Or do I? No, it's just a NCO police sword. Wow, nice blade on it, made by Carl Weiersberg. So nothing wrong with that. We can always use another police sword, especially when they're in nice condition like that. You know, the NCO type has no grip wire and just the aluminum eagle, whereas the officer is a copper eagle, and then the flat style cap on NCOs. And then NCOs do not have a lower scabbard fitting. It's built into the scabbard. So this is 100%. Looks pretty good. So we can use that. That's a good thing. Get rid of some of this stuff here again. And I got a real large box down here that I think I'll open it on the floor here and see if I can pull out what's in there and show you guys. It's a really big box though, and I'm not a big guy. The box is bigger than me, so that's how it is. So let me see what I can, if I can just open up the top here. It looks like it's just regular tape shut. Let's see. Shot down the middle. Oh, there's a lot of paper here on top of it. A lot of paper in this business. And well, now we got something here inside of the styrofoam. What the devil is this, guys? Oop. I'm hearing what sounds like it could be a drum. We haven't had any drums in a while, Ob. I think this could be a drum. I don't know, we'll see. Well, it's certainly well packed. Not too easy to get at, guys, but I think we're getting there. Got my fingers taped together. Well, one of the problems of business, tape together fingers. Maybe that'll loosen up the tape. loosen me up anyhow. I don't know whether the suspense is killing me or I want to kill the suspense, but sooner or later we're going to get to this, guys, I promise you. We may have to call up the 800 junk and have them come in here and clear this place out. There's so much stuff all over here. Here we go. I was right, it is a drum. Yeah, this is something you don't see, guys. Wow. What do you think of Hitler Youth?
Definitely.
Yeah. It's a snare drum. That's the bottom, this is the top. Yeah, both skins are still in good shape and got all the original paint on it, I think. This hanger doesn't look very sophisticated, but maybe that's how it was worn. It looks pretty old. I've never seen that kind of rigging before, but...
That's original, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it looks like it to me, too. Well, that's a pretty interesting thing there. Certainly not something we see every day. Now, what the heck else is in here? Oh. This is all taped together here like the last thing. So you'll have to bear with me, guys, while I go through this again. I'm worried about spilling my drink, you know. Wouldn't want that to happen. Well, we got a lot of free bubble paper. It looks like too. We can find a seam here. Yeah. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Rob, I think we got a pair of drums. Only this one's a bigger one. Wow. Wow, this is Hitler Youth too. Wow, this is pretty cool, guys. I know this is not something for everybody, but that's probably the bottom, I guess. Yeah, this is, I think, is the top. Still, both skins are good. Oh no, this must be the youth lines go down this way, so this must be the top. Or do they go up?
I think that with the rope, with the, I guess we'll call them a coupling, I think they're towards the top, so that's the correct way.
This is the correct way, yeah. Wow. Well, these are pretty rare things. Can you imagine how the heck something like this even survived in this condition and then got sent over here? And wow. Well, I like that. Do you like it, Ub?
Yes.
Yeah, again, it's not something for everyone, but you know, if you're really into Hitler Youth stuff, you could have the drums, say, setting in front of a rising table, and then on the table you have all your Hitler Youth things and all, and then maybe a flag up behind it. It would seem to me that would make for a pretty damn nice display. I like this because it's not the ordinary thing that you see. So it's a hell of a thing to try to ship, but this guy did it right. I'll say that. It made it here in good condition, all still in one piece. Both of them. So we have to be thankful for that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Wow. See, like I say, guys, you never know what's going to come into this crazy place. And I just got a couple of things that I bought this week too, or came in, whatever. That I thought you might like to see. This is really a terrific, really a terrific SS dagger. It's got a beautiful anodized scabbard and nice nickel fittings and early grip. The hanger's a little worn, but it is it looks like a black hanger. And look how nice a grip fits too. Beautiful. And let's see what we got here. Then we got a really good blade. Meine Ehre heißt Treue. And then on the other side, da-da, Gewidmet SS Sportschule Fürth, 1934. This was a dagger that was given probably to one of the winners of an event at Fürth, and it's in extremely nice condition. It's a Gottlieb hemisphere. That's a that's a very nice piece. So I thought you'd like to see that. And then one other piece here, and we'll wrap it up. I love this piece, by the way. The condition of it is absolutely extraordinary. And look how big it is. It's a grosser pattern, imperial naval dirk. And you'll notice it has a very strange pommel on it. And you're probably saying, what the heck is that pommel? It doesn't have the anchors on the crossguard. The grip is ivory. And look at the absolute beautiful work in here with the Kaiser crown and the anchor. Just incredible. That's all hand chasing. Very expensive to buy something like that. And the condition of it is extraordinary. The dagger does look to have been hardly worn at all. And then below it has a serpent wrapped around a trident and some spears. And then on the other side, a beautiful work too, with a kind of a serpent with floral patterns, and the same device on the crossguard. And you're saying, well, what the heck? What is this? What is that pommel? Well, before I tell you, I'll show you the blade too. It has a beautiful damask blade, which is actually cut down. This blade was longer at one time, probably out to about here. And you can see where it's been cut down. That's not an unusual thing to see, but it's a nice, beautiful damask pattern. and on the other side of it, it's marked Stahl, and the word Eisenhower. I've told you before, Eisenhower means the best of steel. It wasn't named after the president. So you're saying, okay, that's all well and good, Whitman. What is it? Well, the pommel is Bulgarian. It's the Bulgarian crown. Exact duplicate of the Bulgarian crown with the cross on the top. And a piece like this would have been made probably around 1898, 1900. And the reason it was made, I feel, it's conjecture on my part, but I'm pretty good at stuff like this. Bulgaria became an independent state the turn of the last century, and the first king was Ferdinand, King Ferdinand. We've heard of King Boris, who was a friend of Hitler's, but Boris came after Ferdinand. And Ferdinand, you say, well, why is it all German? Well, the Bulgarians were associated with the Germans back in the 1880s and through World War I and so forth, and also in World War II. But Ferdinand was he was a prince, a German prince of Saxe-Coburg. That's the same area where Queen Elizabeth's husband was from. He was also a cousin of Kaiser Wilhelm's, so they knew each other. And I believe that this piece was made either as a gift to Ferdinand or given to one of Ferdinand's top people from Germany. And it stands to reason that since the two monarchies were so well connected, that they would exchange things like this. And that would account for the fact that the dagger virtually shows no wear either. It was something that, oh, thank you very much, and it's just a nice thing to have. And it's ultra rare, one of a kind, and extremely beautiful. And for you guys out there that are into imperial naval dirks, the beauty of this chasing is absolutely incredible, just incredible. The dagger seems to have been put away for years and years too, because the ivory has hardly toned. It still remains in perfect condition. All the gilding is there. So I think that that's something special. As you know, you guys, you know I collect Navy daggers, and I really liked that when I saw it. So that'll wrap up our unboxing here, which we never announced. Are we number 41, Ob? 41, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed it. There was some interesting things, some different things, but that's what the hobby's about. You know, there's a lot of things involved with collecting militaria from all different periods, and sooner or later everything comes through this cellar, which I'm very happy about. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if you need anything, send me an email, and I appreciate you watching this stuff too. Thanks a lot.